Hey friend, welcome to the Self Care Isn't Selfish podcast. I'm your host, Emily Nichols. As a Whole30 certified coach, wife, busy working boy mom, and your self-care guru, I'm here to help you start putting yourself first without the guilt. Each week you'll hear motivating and practical tips on how you can create a habit of self-care through interviews with my amazing guests or quick solo episodes with me. After each episode, you'll walk away with an action plan and feel empowered to implement what you have learned into your life. So grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine, or your favorite sparkling water, and let's do this. You're listening to episode 60 of the Self Care Isn't Selfish podcast. Hey friend, are you a member over in my free Self Care Isn't Selfish podcast Facebook community? You should, because we are continuing the conversation from each episode every week, and I'm holding little mini workshops. So we've done crafting a mission statement together. We've done a discussion and workshop on food freedom. I include a template with every workshop to help you start crafting this area of self-care for you if it's something that interests you. So click the link in the show notes so you can come over. It's free and we're just having fun. And I share a lot of memes because memes make me happy. So today we are talking about fitness, moving your body, which is one of the biggest and most special pillars of my self-care routine and something that I help coach a lot of people to get to. Fitness is personal and looks different to everybody as far as the way you move your body and what type of fitness you enjoy and at what type of level. And that changes day to day in whatever season we're in. But there's so many physical, but even more important mental benefits to working out. And I want to help inspire you today to move your body. And hey, if you would, make sure to follow along on Instagram with me at Emily Nichols22. I'm going to have some big announcements coming later this month, all about how you can take the next step in your fitness journey and work out with me. And we'll do it virtually because that's the way we're doing things right now. As I mentioned earlier in the year, I did something really hard. I got my personal training certification. I've been teaching group fitness for a few years and I took a break a little bit ago, and I am just itching to get back to helping people feel their best through fitness. And of course, that turns into a part of their self-care routine. So make sure to follow on Instagram. There's always a link in my show notes and a link to sign up for my newsletter to receive my weekly self-care check-in. I always include a bonus self-care tip, but you'll get more information there and be one of the first people to know when I am dropping these virtual fitness classes. So let's get to know Angi today. Angi Grant is the founder of the Indy Fitness Festival, which is a big part of what we're going to be talking about today. I'm so excited to share this event with you. Pretty much it's a gym crawl here in central Indianapolis. Not a bar crawl, but a gym crawl. I think it's such a smart way for people to gather with friends. They're doing it in a safe way. Okay, they're all doing their own safety procedures with this, but it's such a great way to try out a lot of different fitness facilities around town and see what you would like best. And it's so smart. I love what she's doing. It's September 17th through 20th here in Indy. You can get just a 1-day pass, 2-day. You can come all 3 days, your choice of what this wants to look like for you. And Angi was so nice. She gave me a discount code for you. So if you use the code EmilyFitFest10, you'll save 10% off either a 1, 2, or 3-day pass for the Indy Fitness Festival. Thank you, Angi, for providing that to my listeners. But let me tell you a little bit about Angi before we dig into this conversation a bit more about movement and fitness. So she's an Indianapolis native and former Purdue softball alumni, and she's really turned a passion for fitness into a multi-city health and wellness event. So she's a lover of all things fitness. She's a mom of 2, and really her mission is just to inspire others to get up and move and live fit, free, and happy. Angie is my kind of girl. She's speaking my language. So enjoy this conversation with me and Angie. And as always, make sure to stick around to hear my 3 biggest takeaways. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning back into the Self-Care Isn't Selfish podcast. You know, an area that I love to talk about is moving your body and fitness. And I have someone very special on the show to talk about that today, because obviously that's a big form of self-care. We have Angi Grant here from the Indy Fitness Festival. Angie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I'm so excited to dig into this topic and let my audience hear a little bit more about what you're doing. But Angie, I would love to know from you. So the first question I ask all my guests is, what does self-care mean to you?
Yeah, this is could sound like a selfish answer, but it's always meant putting myself first.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced it on the flip side, you know, when you don't. And for me, when you put yourself first, and that means a lot of things to me, but really fitness is one of the things that I always prioritize. I find myself being the happiest version of myself when I can focus on that before anything else.
Yes. And that's absolutely not selfish. It's just such a hard mindset to overcome, to be like, especially if you're a mom, to be like, oh, I'm putting myself first. I know that's a little selfish, but it makes you a better mom and wife and friend and colleague for sure.
It does. And you nailed it. I mean, now so that I'm a mom, I've had to prioritize it differently for sure, but I still make it that number one priority, because when I'm not, it brings me down.
For sure. So, well, let's get to know you a little bit better, Angie. Can you tell our audience a little bit more about your story, where you're from, and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Indy. I grew up as an East Side Catholic, went to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic grade school and Cecina High School, and I live in Irvington. Grew up in Irvington, and I live back there now. But I grew up as a sports girl. You know, I played in everything. I played softball, which I'll talk about more here in a moment. But it was always basketball, volleyball, softball. I did some cheerleading, which I still am a big advocate for kids in cheer. And really, those were the core sports that I was always involved in. So and my whole family was involved in stuff like that. So, you know, my story really is, I identify as an athlete. I played competitively in college. I went to Purdue and played softball. That was the sport that I excelled at. Although I do like to say that if I were a couple inches taller, volleyball could have been my sport of choice, because I really love that. Oh, and I love helping coach that sport. And so anyway, I identify as an athlete. I grew up as one. And once I got out of college, it was like, you know, wow, I spent probably 15 years of my life being coached by somebody and having a discipline and stuff like that. And I really had to figure my own. Well, that's a whole nother story. I feel like they need to have a package for kids that are like getting out of the athletic world, you know, and moving on into reality. But it's ebbed and flowed in my adult years. So since I got out of school till now, I mean, I'm almost 40, and I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. And so fast forward to today, and variety is really where I've found my niche in terms of fitness. And so, you know, I dabble in a lot of things. I dabble in bar and boot camps and Pilates. And so that's evolved into the Indy Fitness Festival. And this idea that I had a couple of years ago to really share fitness on a larger scale, because it's just like, it like exudes the passion inside of me when I think about how I can still kind of live that athlete identity, you know, in a way that translates into real world today. And right now it's boutique fitness gyms and studios. And that's where I spend a lot of my time. That's where I prioritize my time. And I love being around people who love that as well. So that's kind of my story in terms of like who I am and what I love. And I know we'll talk about the fest here more soon, but yeah, that's the gist of it. I got 2 kids at home, and I married my childhood sweetheart. I mean, when I think about him, I think about our 12-year-olds at the YMCA, and it's funny to think that we've, full circled it, but we grew up at the same little league. Our dads coached together, so we have a really cool story.
You guys have just grown up together.
We have. It's been fun, but like never at the same schools. So that we were always kind of like, crushing on each other from afar. But he played college hockey, and so I just love that we can now kind of bring our kids up with that.
Yeah.
That the same upbringing that we loved and enjoyed as kids. That's where, fun is where it's going to be at for us at this stage because our kids are so young.
Yeah.
But we're also going to instill in them the things that matter to us when it comes to athletic life. I mean, a lot of things translate from athletics into life. And,
absolutely.
We just really want to bring our kids up with the same mentality that we both agree on,
Yeah. Well, you're so true. I think a lot of times, I was just having this discussion with a friend the other day about college athletes, and, they've grown up doing whatever sport or their niche all of their lives. And then when COVID hit, maybe some of their careers were cut short, and the grieving they had to do for that and the pivoting they had to do to kind of figure out, okay, what am I going to do with my life? But you learned so much from being coached and being part of a team, and the value of hard work and moving your body and watching the benefits that happen to that, not only to your body, but more so your mind. And I'd like to think that these athletes have such a solid mindset that they took the time to be sad, but they picked themselves up, dusted themselves off, and made a plan moving forward as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I've been out of school for probably 15 years, but it's to think about what they're going through. I couldn't even imagine. Heartbreaking, all the work that you put into it. It is legit a job. And for somebody to say that it's not, then, I suggest they try to fit themselves into those shoes, but it's, yeah, and everyone's going through it, even their support system. So you would hope that their support system can help them get through a time like this, So there's lots of tools available, but you got to pick yourself up. No time to feel sorry for yourself. You got to just roll with the punches.
Yeah. So Angie, why is moving your body and fitness so very important to you? I mean, it's obviously something you've grown up with. It's just kind of instilled into you. So why is it so important to you? And you're obviously setting that example for your family as well.
Thanks. Yeah, it's just about all the ways that it makes me feel. I mean, I feel set aside like the physical aspects of it. I feel more confident. I feel more achieved. I feel more empowered. Like it really, when you can get yourself through something that's mentally hard for most people, to even step foot inside a gym or a studio, or even get through a class at home, it mentally does some things to you that is kind of addicting. And so, and it carries over. I have a day job, and so the confidence that I gain from just knowing that I can get through a 1-minute plank, I can get through this tough conversation, it really kind of does something to you there mentally. And then physically, I mean, the way it makes me feel and look, for sure. But now that I'm getting older, I can just tell the way that I feel with my joints. my mobility for sure. I mean, all that, like, if someone is 20 something listening to this, that it's probably not going to register because that stuff didn't matter to me back then.
Right.
It was more about vanity. And I'll be very honest, it's still very much is. I want to look great in my jeans and clothes. And when I look great, I feel great.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's so important to me. Yeah. And I definitely, the energy, the moment I know that I've slacked in the fitness department is my energy just tanks.
Oh yeah.
And nutrition has now played a big part in it too. Moving my body, if I don't do it for a period of time, I feel it. I feel the aches and pains. Yeah. And I have arthritis, and then it got to a point where it was really, really bad. But I think the only way that I kind of stave it off is because I'm constantly moving. Mm-hmm. And it only benefits me. So that's why it's so important to me.
Hey, cutting in real quick to tell you about today's sponsor, Savvy. When I was approached to help launch this new activewear company, I had to do my research first, like the squat test, bra check while you're jumping, making sure everything stays in check, compression check, and to tell you the truth, I was hooked. So as a certified personal trainer and group exercise instructor, I know what's up when it comes to activewear. I mean, it's my daily uniform inside and outside of coaching, and this is the good stuff. So the material is so buttery, and I'm obsessed with the details and colors of their leggings and sports bras. So I don't partner with too many companies, but after I started wearing Savvy's clothing, I just had to share this with you. I mean, we're all wearing activewear right now anyway, right? Well, it's super easy to shop. Just download the app via the link in the show notes and make sure to log in every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern for all of the new styles and restocks dropping. So Savvy is just in pre-launch before they go all out in the new year. So every Friday they release these new styles and they sell out so quickly. So this is giving them all the data they need to find out what styles we all love the most. So when they launch early in the year, they have so many wonderful styles that we all love. So make sure to log on every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern to see those new styles drop, and make sure you set an alarm because insider tip, they sell out super fast. So, and while I'm helping Savvy launch, they've personally given me some $25 off coupon codes for you to use on your first purchase. So message me directly on Instagram at EmilyNichols22, that's EmilyNichols22 for a code, and I'll send it your way to save you some money. So I do have limited coupons each month, so make sure to message me ASAP. So download the Savvy app via the link in the show notes, and let's dress to feel our best. And you know what, my friend? That is a form of self-care. Yeah. I don't think people realize so much. I get up super early to work out because that's like the best time for me to, and otherwise I may not do it later in the day. And people are like, doesn't that make you more tired? I'm like, no, it gives me so much more energy throughout the day, and I sleep better as well. So it's just like a win-win-win. Yeah. And I don't think people realize it. They think, it's just going to make me more tired. And it's the complete opposite.
It is. And hey, it's, I've seen some research show that you can lose more weight if you work out in the morning, and it just kind of your metabolism is different throughout the day, and you're fighting off, more, especially if you have the right nutrition plan. I would love to get up early again and start working out just because I know how that feels. So, it's ebbed and flowed for me, but
oh yeah,
early morning.
We're in a strange season right now too, anyways.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and, going back to your example of, doing something really challenging, like a 1-minute plank. I can't tell you how many times I say this when I'm coaching a class to say, hey, we can do hard things. If you can do this hard thing, that's going to translate into your outside world. Because like you said, it's going to make you more confident and feel like, yeah, I can get up and give this really hard presentation, or have this challenging conversation, or just get through the day with your little kids. That's hard enough in itself. Yeah. And to be like, you can do hard things. It's such a wonderful metaphor in life and confidence booster, no matter what level of your hard looks like.
For sure. 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So Angie, what would you say to someone that's maybe intimidated to step inside of a new gym or a boutique fitness facility, like an Orange Theory, Cycle Bar, Pure Bar, any of these type of facilities? What would you say to someone who's intimidated to give something like that a shot?
You just got to commit to it.
Yeah.
And I do want to just kind of take a step back on this question, because you heard my story. I grew up an athlete. It doesn't mean that I don't have those fears either about stepping foot in a new place, especially after a baby, because you're like taken back 100 feet because your body has just gone through a big transformation, and getting back into it, not looking the same or being able to perform the same is intimidating. So I've been in those shoes where you just got to commit. And that starts with put it on your schedule, get an accountability buddy. That 1000% has been my biggest motivator. Even though I work out with a lot of fitness buffs, if they're not showing up, I probably won't show up. So, but we're constantly talking to each other about, are you going? Then I'm going to go. And we're going to do this together because I know we both enjoy it. So schedule it, get a buddy. If you don't have a buddy, schedule it, get in touch with the gym or studio owner and ask them questions and let them know that you're new, and maybe they can kind of greet you when you get there to make it easier on you. As you get into class. I mean, that's also, I still do that. I introduce myself to instructors and the owners, and they just make you feel at home and at ease. So that's my biggest takeaway from that question is commit to it.
Yeah.
And the rest will fall into place. Rinse and repeat. Commit.
You got to keep doing it and keeping at it. And I love the idea of an accountability partner. You know, I have a group of girlfriends. We're all fitness, positive mind type of gals, and we run together. And I don't even like running, but I just like running with them and having coffee afterwards.
Yeah.
But we have a big group text. And even if we don't work out together, we're like this morning, I did a Beachbody workout here at home, and I texted, got this done this morning. And then everyone's bing, bing, bing. Oh, good job, Emily. I did this morning. I did this. I did that. And just simple little things like that, checking in with each other is a game changer.
Totally. We had a Facebook page. One of my girlfriends created a Facebook page during COVID because we couldn't see each other.
Right.
You know, we were so used to meeting up at the gym, and then not only just our group, but friends of friends started joining that Facebook group, and it became, you know, I did this, the same thing you do with your girlfriends. And then some people were like, wow, I've been watching this Facebook group. Like I accepted to join it. I've been watching you guys say these comments. I'm going to get into it now. So it motivated people that weren't even in a routine to get into one. And they didn't even have to do the same types of workouts that we were doing. They went at their own speed. They picked their own. They asked questions. Some people give recommendations. And that's also another thing is ask. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And even if it's like, hey, do you bar? Can I join you? Like, you know, that's a big game changer too. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of blocked is don't know where to start. And if you just start small and grab a friend, you guys can figure it out together.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best. Well, let's talk about the Indy Fitness Festival a little bit more. I think this is just the coolest concept. So it is pretty much a studio crawl happening around central Indianapolis. And I'd love for you to tell the audience a little bit more about it.
It is my most favorite thing right now. It is, it's a studio crawl event, and it's a 4-day event happening September 17th through the 20th. And it's an opportunity to get you inside the doors of the best in Indy, Carmel, Fishers, and Broad Ripple. Try out their signature classes, full-length classes, so it's really not a try-on. You're really getting the full experience. And you can purchase whatever pass is available to you that weekend. You know, if you can come the full weekend, please do. But we also have 2-day and 1-day passes. And there's anything from bar to Pilates to yoga to dance to aerial silks to boxing, lots of boot camps. We're going to have added experiences. So we're going to have drop sound headphones. So like a silent disco at a couple of these places. Yeah. We have sleep recovery workshop. And my most favorite part is that we're having a kickoff event. And that's the first time we've ever done it. So this is the third year that this thing has been put together, but it's the biggest year. And it's the first year that I've really expanded to make it more aware across the community. So there's lots of community partners involved. So the kickoff event is really an opportunity to come together outdoors. We'll have a great time together, working out, shopping some retail, just mingling, socially distancing, of course, but we'll have music and swag bags. And overall, the event is a way for you to get over that fear of stepping foot into a place for the first time, get some of your friends, do something fun together, even if it's just for the weekend. But you might ultimately find that one or two of these places or three could be your variety of choice in something that you add to your schedule moving forward. So it's a big community event, and I'm super excited about it. It's during a pandemic, but business is still open, and people still want to move on and live their lives. And I think this is something that the community really wants.
Well, and it's a great way to support these businesses during a time where so many of them had to be closed for 8 weeks plus. To be able to have that boutique experience, go in and not be so intimidated. And I don't think people realize with the studios you have on the schedule, they have a higher level of customer service than like a big box gym has. Like you come in and it's just like giving you the VIP experience, making sure you feel comfortable and part of the community, which and being able to try out these different studios and trying out something new that maybe you had never even thought of trying before. And it could be like what I like to call your soulmate workout that just lights you on fire.
Yeah. And you're right. Like each one of these gyms and studios they want to press on with this. They want the festival to happen. They want the community to come out and experience what still is happening. Your health and wellness should still be priority for you, especially during a pandemic. And they treat you like family. And that's why it's so important for me to keep it at its core inside the studios and gyms versus a singular location somewhere where you don't really get that vibe, community, tribe vibe feel, versus when you're actually in the doors of these places.
And they're all taking the proper safety precautions, smaller class sizes and whatnot, just due to COVID and whatnot. But I'm so glad you're able to still have this year. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, and for sure, all the COVID precautions are in place that you can imagine and have seen. Mask on, mask off. Some may require you to wear your mask while you work out, or may encourage you, but you generally won't see that with some of the higher intensity classes, maybe some of the more lower and medium, but overall, it's just, you're still going to experience all the social distancing and smaller class sizes for sure. So get in while you can, because that just tells you that the schedule is limited in terms of the seats that are available per class. So things are really filling, which is great to see things filling, but we don't want you to miss out on your favorite class.
Yeah. I know I signed up for a couple of classes at some places I haven't tried before. So I'm super
Oh,
excited to try
fun.
them out. And I can't wait to go to the kickoff and just really, seeing people move their bodies and making their health a priority, like you said, especially now during a pandemic, is super important. And this is just such a great way for people just to take a small step in a fun way to finding what's going to work out for them.
Yes, 100%. And it's so exhilarating throughout the full weekend. And, rain or shine, because it's inside, with the exception of the kickoff. But you'll see the same faces likely throughout the whole weekend. You'll have a way to identify each other. And so I hope that you make new friends out of it too.
Nice. I love that. So it's September 17th through the 20th. Where can everyone connect with you online, Angie, and get tickets for the Indy Fitness Fest?
Yeah, go to indyfitnessfestival.com. You can learn more about the schedule, the participating locations, and get your tickets. And follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Indy Fitness Festival. And we're constantly highlighting and showcasing the studios involved. So you can learn a lot more there about what to expect before you show up.
Wonderful. Angie, thanks so much for coming on the show today and sharing your story and love for fitness. And I can't wait for the Indy Fitness Festival.
Oh, thank you so much, Emily. This is so much fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in person.
Awesome. Same here. Angie, thanks so much again for this conversation. I feel like I need to go out and run or just take a walk right now just to get outside and move my body. Although I've already done that today, so I should probably rest. But y'all, make sure to check out the link in my show notes. I have a link to the Indy Fitness Festival if you're here local and would like to attend that event with some friends, either 3 days, 2 day, 1 day pass, whatever is best for you. And remember, you can use the code at checkout, EmilyFitFest10, to save 10% off whatever passes you decide to get. So let's get into my 3 biggest takeaways from this conversation with Angie of the Indy Fitness Festival. Number 1, we've talked about this before, way back in earlier episodes, that you can do hard things. Working out and trying hard things, like she said, like a 1-minute plank, builds confidence. I can't preach this enough, how much moving your body and trying things that maybe are a little uncomfortable for you and succeeding, how much confidence that can give you to do other things in your life. Like she said, have a hard conversation, ask for a promotion at work, start your own business, heck, start your own podcast for that matter. But working out allows you to build that confidence to do hard things, and it can just have such a big snowball effect in your life. Number 2, you got to commit when it comes to fitness. Whatever your goals are when it comes to moving your body, you have to be committed, but you also have to be patient and give it time. A great way to stay committed, like Angie mentioned, is to have some type of accountability partner. It's so important to surround yourself with positive people who are going to encourage you. If you can't find an accountability partner, someone that you feel like is going to be cheering you on and just checking in with you to be like, yay, I'm working out too, or good job on your workout, friend, DM me. Seriously, I will be your accountability partner because this really makes such a big difference. Like I said, I have a group text with a group of girlfriends. I'm texting them what I'm doing and working out in the morning. And even if I'm like, I don't know if they really care, they do care because they're checking in with me. It's such a big accountability piece, and it gives you the motivation to keep going. And number 3, just start. Start somewhere. Go for a walk. Chase your dog around. Play with your kids. What I've been doing lately, since I'm at home all the time working from home, I have a little mini trampoline. I turn on a 10-minute YouTube trampoline workout. I turn up Spotify with some music and I jump on a trampoline for 10 minutes. It is the best little time in my day. I usually do it before I record an interview with somebody too, because it really gets me awake and the blood flowing and my mind and everything's just open. But The bottom line is you don't have to be an athlete, though, just to start doing something. The Indy Fitness Festival would be a really great stepping stone for you to try a few different workouts here in the Indianapolis area. If you're not local, look for a lot of free workouts online. You can start working out with me virtually online. There's wonderful things on Pinterest. There's a wealth of knowledge out there, and you don't have to be an athlete or an elite anything, or rather, just start and give yourself the gift of moving your body. Like I said, self-care, my self-care routine, one of the biggest pillars is moving my body. When I work out, especially sometimes when I work out by myself, it's almost like a moving meditation for me, if that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I can feel my mind opening up. A lot of ideas come to me. I feel more clear. I can hear God talking to me sometimes, or whatever you believe in. Just start moving your body. It's going to be a game changer. You need to give it time and be patient and give yourself grace. But I guarantee you, this will become a pillar in your self-care routine as well that you honestly can't live without. So friend, thank you again for showing up, for listening. I hope you share this episode out on your stories or with a friend or family member that you feel would be inspired and motivated to start moving their body and making their self-care and their health a priority in their lives. Remember to check out the link in the show notes so you can connect with Angie of the Indy Fitness Festival and get your tickets as well. Reminder, it's Emily Fit Fest 10 if you want 10% off your passes as well. So sending you all lots and lots of love. Make sure to join my free community where we'll be talking about movement a little bit more this week and doing our mini workshop. So again, thanks for showing up. Sending you all lots of love. Happy moving your body. And remember, self-care isn't selfish. Bye.